Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again, and we're going to review for the Unit 2, Grade 7, Expressions. So let's get right down to it. So express the area of the rectangle as a simplified polynomial. Well, if you remember the area formula for a rectangle from some time ago, area equals L times W, or area equals length times width. So I can rotate this. I can put the length for 6, and that means the width will be all of that. Now be careful because that width is very long. I'm going to draw parentheses because the number next to parentheses, you should know, means multiply. So I'm going to multiply 4n squared plus n minus 2, all of that by 6. And if you remember, we distribute each term with the 6. So that'll be 6 times 4 little n squared. That's the first one, and 6 times 4 is 24, and we keep the n squared. And our next distribution is 6 times the n, and I'll put a little 1 there in case you remember. They don't write the 1. So 6 times 1, positive 1 little n. That'll give us positive 6n. And my last distribution is 6 times the minus 2. So 6 times minus 2, if you get your calculator, it'll give you a minus 12 or a negative 12 because they're the same thing. And we have our answer. 24n squared plus 6n minus 12. Remember, you cannot add these together because they're all different terms. So our area equals that. So I hope you enjoyed that question. Let's move on. Lynn and Paula are playing a game against their friends. Lynn has earned, I see a polynomial there, points, and Paula has also earned, I see another polynomial there, points. What is the total? And that's an important word we need to circle because total means sum or add them up all together. So what's the total amount of points that they have earned together? All right. Well, when I see people have earned points and they want us to find a total, first thing I'm going to do is get my T-chart. I'm going to put Lynn over here and put her points in the T-chart. Now, you remember our T-chart? It has at the end constants, which are just regular numbers without letters. And now we have 2 letters. We have an A, and she has an A to the exponent of 2, or A squared. So I'm going to put in her A squared in the first column. So there's A squared, and that's 2A squared. Sorry, Dr. Rob. Plus 5A, and she has a minus 1 constant. So that's Lynn. Now her friend Paula, who's working with her, Paula, and she had some points. She had, 3A squared, a minus 5A, and a plus 4. So let's find the total or sum, which means we got to add up every single one of these columns. So I'll start with the constants because those are usually easier. I'll draw 1 little negative, 4 positives, and remember positive charges and negative charges, when they come together, they cancel out, leaving me with these 3 charges, which are positive. Or you could subtract the numbers and choose a sign of the bigger number, and that will be 3. That'll give you an answer of 3. Here I have 5a plus negative 5a. These are opposites or additive inverses. And when we have additive inverses, they cancel out and give you 0. So plus 0a. And now my last one is 2a squared plus 3a squared, which will give us 2 plus 3, gives us 5. And we keep a squared. And that's positive, by the way. So my answer is going to be 5a squared plus 0a plus 3. Now, we're big boys and girls. I'm going to tell you a little secret about the 0a. You don't have to write 0. So we're going to leave that out. So that middle term I'm going to leave out and just put it as 5a squared plus 3. So since you have 0a, no sense in writing them. So that's our total points that they got as a polynomial. So I hope you're understanding what's going on. If you're not sure, rewatch the video, write down your questions, and bring them in. I'll be glad to answer them. All right, let's move on. Simplify. If you remember, I just said if you see a number next to parenthesis, that means multiply. So we have to distribute. So before I distribute, I see there's a minus sign right here. I'm going to attach that minus sign to the 3. That way I don't have to worry about it later. So I'm going to distribute the minus 3 to the a, and that'll be my first distribution, which will be minus 3. And remember, there's an imaginary 1 there. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And don't forget the a, Dr. Rob. So that's your first distribution. My second distribution will be minus 3 times minus 4. And minus times minus gives us plus, and 4 times 3 gives us 12. All right, so far I got minus 3a, and I got a plus 12. What happened to the 8, Dr. Rob? Yeah, there was an 8 up here in the front. Let me put it back. So I have a lot of different terms. I have a couple of numbers, and I got one number with the letter A. So I'm going to draw, again, my faithful T-chart, and I'm going to put in the constants in the last column, which are just numbers without letters, and I'm going to put the A's in this column. So let's put them in there. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 8, put it in the constant. I'm going to take the negative 3a, put it in the A column, and I'm going to put the positive 12 or plus 12 in the constants column. So I put all my pieces in there. So let's add them up. 8 plus 12 is 20, positive. Negative 3a plus nothing is just negative 3a. So there's our answer, negative 3a plus 20. We have simplified that expression. All right, let's move on. Oh, simplify again. This time we got fractions. All right, so we got to distribute fractions to the stuff that's inside. So my first distribution will be 3/4 times 7/8. If you haven't seen my video on multiplying fractions, check it out. All it is, and I'll review it, it's just the top numbers times the top. 3 times 7 equals 21. That'll give you your new numerator, and then you multiply the bottom number, which is 4 times 8, and that'll give you 32. Don't forget there was a letter Y there, so let's put that Y in there. That way we can have half our answer. So half of our answer is 21 over 32Y. Let's now do the second distribution. The 3/4 is going to be multiplied by the plus 1/2. And that's good, so we don't have to worry about letters. So again, let's multiply top times top, 3 times 1, and that is equal to 3. Bottom times bottom, 4 times 2, and that is equal to 8. And remember, it's positive. So my other half of my second half is plus 3/8. And guess what? We're done. So that's the answer. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far and getting these good answers. So if you're not sure, rewatch the video again and bring in your questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Factor. In order to factor, you have to first remember that game we played to try to find the GCF by looking at what's the biggest number you can divide in the 18 and 24 at the same time. If you remember, I said what you do is start with the smaller number first. That way you can break it down by multiplication. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. 4 doesn't go in, 5 doesn't go in, and 6 we already got, so we don't have to write it. So there are all our factors of 18. Now I got 24 I got to break down. So 1 times 24 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and 5 doesn't go in, and we already got 6. Now I'm going to circle all the numbers that they have in common. They both have a 1, they both have a 2, they both have a 3, and they both have a 6. And that's it. No other numbers are in common. So I got to leave those alone. Let me write those numbers down here, 1, 2, 3, and 6, because they're called CFs, which is common factors. That means that all these numbers are in both sets of the factors or products. So I'm interested for the greatest factor. In other words, the largest number out of all of them, and that is 6. So now that I got 6, the greatest common factor, I'm going to divide each one of these by 6 to see what I get left. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. Don't forget you got an X there, Dr. Rob. So put your X down. 20 minus 24 divided by 6 is minus 4. And that's what's left when you divide by the GCF. And what are you going to do with that, Dr. Rob? Well, I'm going to take my GCF, which is 6, and I'm going to put parenthesis around the stuff that I divided out, and I'm going to put that in here. 3x minus 4. That's my answer in factored form. How do you know that's right, Dr. Rob? Well, you can check it. So I'll say, let me check it. Let me first highlight my answer. So I'm going to do my check over here. Check. No, that's too far to do it away. Dr. Rob, you want them to see it. So I'm going to check it over here. So I'll write down my check. I'll need a little bit more paper. Okay. So I'm going to check. Check. So 6 parenthesis 3x minus 4. Now, if it checks out, I'm going to get the exact same thing that I started when I factored. So if you remember, we said distribute when you have a number next to a parenthesis. That means multiply. So 6 times 3 gives me 18. Don't forget, you got an X down there, Dr. Rob. Then do your second distribution. 6 times minus 4 gives you minus 24. And guess what? That looks like what we started with up here. 18x minus 24. And I believe that is the same. Yes, that is the same. So I know my answer of 6 parenthesis 3x minus 4 is correct. So that's factoring. All right, let's keep moving on. Express the area of the rectangle as a simplified polynomial. All right, explain and show your work. Well, the area formula for a rectangle is length times width. Now, Dr. Rob, this is a little bit different. I got 2 terms in each one of those. I have to multiply these terms? Yes. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I wrote down my length and my width. So in dealing with this, I tell my students what you have to do is distribute because you're multiplying. So, and this is more of an 8th grade question because we don't deal with binomial multiplication. We only deal with monomial by a polynomial. So we're going to do a double distribution. We're going to multiply -2 times the width, 6n plus 3. That's going to be our first multiplication. So let me multiply it. -2 times 6 is equal to -12, and I'll put an n there. Then I got to do my second distribution. -2 times +3 is -6. So that's my first distribution. Now, what's new in 8th grade, you have to multiply it a second time by this stuff. So that means n is going to also be multiplied by 6n plus 3. So that's a double distribution. You're multiplying by each term in the parentheses. So let's multiply it. All right. N times 6n. Well, there's a 1 out here. That'll help. 1 times 6 is equal to 6. And n times n, I've never multiplied n times n, Dr. Rob. Can you help me? What does that equal to? Well, I want to take you back to 5th grade math. When you had 5 and a little 2, what did that mean? If you said it meant write 5 2 times, because 5 times 5 is expressed as 5 to the second power, I know that equals 25, but we're not interested in the answer. We're interested in how many times you wrote 5. And you wrote them 2 times because of the exponent telling you to write it. Well, if I went backwards, if I had 2 of these n's, that means the exponent has to be 2, which means n times n equals 2. And for those of you who want to take a sneak peek into the 8th grade future, when you deal with exponent laws, n to the first power and n to the first power, because there's only one little n there and one little n there, if we add them up, they add up to 2. That's where we get the 2 from. All right? So n times n is n squared. So this will give me 6n squared. Now I got to multiply this one little n times the plus 3. And 1 times 3 is 3. And don't forget, you got a n there, Dr. Rob, so put an n at the end. So we got a lot of terms here. We got 4 of them. And I'm going to get a chart so I can organize this nicely. I'm going to put my constants on the n. I'm going to put my letter n because I see I have n's there. And I have n to the second power, or n squared. All right, my first term, when I multiplied negative 2 times the second width, times the width, I got negative 12n, and I got a negative 6 constant. My second time when I multiplied, I got 6n squared, and I got a plus 3n. So I put them in their respective columns so I can combine the like terms. So let me add all this up. Negative 6 plus nothing, that'll just give me negative 6. Now I got negative 12 plus 3. Well, the signs are different, so I got to subtract. That'll give me 9. Choose the sign of the 12 because it's a bigger digit. So that'll give me negative 9n. And I got 6n plus nothing, 6n squared plus nothing. That'll just give me 6n squared. And don't write the plus sign, Dr. Howe. So you got a negative sign there already. So again, 6n squared. I don't need next extra minus sign there. So that's my answer. So the area equals, and I showed my work, area equals, and let me write it inside of the rectangle, 6n squared minus 9n minus 6. Wow, that's advanced. So that's what you're looking for when you get to the upper grades, multiplying polynomials. So I hope you understood what went on. If you didn't, rewatch the video. It was a good lesson today. And remember, if you have homework problems, dial a teacher homework helpline at 212-777-3380, Monday to Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. They will help you out. Check out my YouTube videos. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. Subscribe to our channels. Help us to get to our next 1,000 subscribers. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. And if you don't like what we're doing, write us a comment and tell me what I can do to improve to help you even more. You can check out our latest math video, now on video, PKMS, Math Prep 21, about the pandemic. You can tweet me at drobmath1. If you would like some more information on what we did, some more problems, write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org. So good luck on your test. I know you'll do well because you have subscribed to my channel and you are watching my videos. And if you need to watch them more than once, do that. So thank you for listening. This is Dr. Rob signing off. Bye-bye.